Hey, what's going on, fellas? It's Six Packs Dunga coming to you again with yet another video. So what I want to talk about with you guys today is something that I believe not a lot of people talked about in the newest chapter of Boruto TBV VORTEX. You could kind of say this was washed away in the MOMOSHIKI return hype, but actually, this topic has the potential to be the most important moment in this chapter. So hang on tight, grab a snack, and let's dive into this video, shall we? Hey, but before we do that, I was hoping you all would leave a quick little like on the video and maybe subscribe if you enjoy content like this. We're currently on the long grind to 20k subscribers. I know it's a ways away, but I fully believe we could reach that goal together. So yeah, if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's hop into it. With the sudden disappearance of Naruto, the one immediately appointed the title of 8th Hokage was Shikamaru. He was the one candidate who just made the most sense, as the Hokage's advisor, assistant, whatever, and one of the smartest characters in the series. He was pretty much a no-brainer. But here's the catch. Shikamaru is a weird case because he's not officially the 8th Hokage. It's only temporary for now. And he probably doesn't want to officially take on that title because he feels Naruto will return soon. And that thinking only gotten more accurate once Boruto told Shikamaru what Kawaki done and that Naruto and Hinata were still safe. But enough with that, here's the real problem. It's the village elders. They still remain a huge problem, and this time, it's not only gonna hurt the future of the village, but the future of the world. The elders were always kind of ignorant, stuck in their simple way of thinking, unable to see the bigger picture in most scenarios. And that's why they were pretty much never taken seriously. They actually disrespected the village and the Will of Fire on many occasions. And they both just seen it as helping the village. I think most of the hate they get stems from them constantly going against the 3rd and 5th Hokage, criticizing their actions and supporting Danzo, who heavily influenced the downfall of the Uchiha clan and was one of the main perpetrators of the Uchiha massacre. They went against Tsunade's decision to let Naruto fight Pain and defend his village. Now, right there, that was the one I feel did the most damage. So basically, I mean, what more can I say? Everyone knows how horrible of a person Danzo was, so it's really no surprise nobody likes them. They just embody the stubborn and old political mindset of the Leaf Village, and their actions have proven to do nothing but create conflict and spew more hatred around the world. It's been happening for generations upon generations now, and now here they come striking again in Boruto's generation. But this time it's even worse because they have way more power than they had before. Their political power was always pretty noteworthy, but they never had more power and influence than the Hokage, which is why they latched onto Danzo, who mainly worked in the shadows to oppose the Hokage. But now that Shikamaru isn't officially the 8th Hokage, they have a bit more influence than usual. When we first see them in TBV VORTEX, they stress to Shikamaru that despite Boruto's efforts to drive away Code, they still need him dead because his presence puts the entirety of Konoha's existence in jeopardy. The daimyo, or the feudal lords, are basically the highest level of power you can achieve in your respective country. There is no political leader that is more powerful than the 5 of them. They control the financial resources and funding for their own land, alliances, and village privileges. And this includes all the hidden villages within their borders. They basically fund the villages, and in return, the villages provide military support and protection over their land. So now that we established that the daimyo all have more political power than the 5 Kage, we see where the real problem lies. Because it's not only the village elders that are disturbed by the current situation, it's the daimyo as well. The elders state that all the daimyo are beyond furious of the current situation in Konoha, the attempted murder of Boruto, which they think is Kawaki due to omnipotence, and of course the disappearance of Naruto. So they then go ahead and say, forget the next fiscal budget, the continued existence of Konoha is in great jeopardy, which means the village can possibly stop getting funded by the feudal lord of the Land of Fire. And if you know anything about how money and businesses work, then you should know that Konoha cannot survive without this funding. You know, that's how people in the village get paid, which includes the revenue that shinobi get after completing missions. Also, this is how new buildings are built and renovated. all that is being threatened to be taken away if the situation in Konoha stays how it is. And now it's all being dumped on Shikamaru to make it happen. Being the Hokage, he's solely responsible for this. But whole time he's aiding Boruto. He knows the truth behind this situation, which is why he's truly conflicted. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, because he knows he needs to aid Boruto. He knows about omnipotence and how it affected his and everyone else's mind, but the village elders are constantly in his ear about the future of the village and the existence of Konoha. Once Boruto gotten captured and brought in for questioning, he told everyone about the Shinju, their motives, and how dangerous they were to the planet. However, the village elders still did not budge in their beliefs. Even with Boruto's invaluable information and intel, they were still going to go through with his elimination. Yet again, failing to see the bigger picture, not truly understanding the situation that's being presented to them. And this statement confirms it. Whatever or whomever those monsters desire, what we of Konoha must do does not change. Any hostile will be eliminated using all means necessary. Do you know how idiotic that statement is? First of all, let's address the most important thing. The Shinju's strength is incomprehensible to those elders. Let me say it again. The Shinju's strength is incomprehensible to the elders. They have no idea that one of the Shinju can wipe out a nation of shinobi. And them being amped up by Code's karma, they have divine powers, which means they should be treated as an international threat, especially since one of them attacked the land of wind. Now they're starting to expand. But coming from someone that doesn't understand the current situation, they legit think they have enough to defeat JURA. They don't understand that if they don't have Boruto, forget the village, the whole world is doomed. And let me just say, and I hate to say this, but they're full of themselves. They say they will use whatever means necessary to eliminate the threat, when most of the times that Konoha was saved, they had no real understanding of how the village was saved. Prime example, and I know I mentioned this earlier, but this is really a golden example, because Pain was curve stomping everyone in the village. It wasn't even funny. He was about to kill the Hokage and everything. Naruto was the one who saved Konoha, the one person who they wanted to keep hidden because they failed to view him as an asset to the Leaf instead of the Nine Tails. Again, if they truly understood the situation, they would know that Naruto was to be bet on in this fight. The work he put in to get here, what kind of training he went through, they didn't know any of it. They instantly just started to disrespect him by referring to him as the Nine Tails instead of Naruto Uzumaki. So you see, that's how they really viewed him. Like, that is reality. Even after all that time of him gaining respect throughout the village, you see how they still viewed him. And this is not just a one-time occurrence. It happened multiple times. Supporting Danzo, who was in secret collaboration with Orochimaru, who was not only responsible for the destruction of Konoha, but the murder of the 4th Kazekage and 3rd Hokage. So they really have the nerve to say what's best for Konoha when they constantly put Konoha in the worst possible scenarios due to their own arrogance. Even when Boruto told them that Naruto and Hinata are alive and safe, they demanded that he tell them or die, disregarding why he might have been hidden or the possibility of it being linked to the threats that Konoha faces. Basically, all I'm saying is that they're power hungry. They think they're more than what they are, when in reality nobody respects them because everyone knows they're just old people who enforce old laws. Sorry for the rant, but getting back on track, once Boruto has escaped from the interrogation room, they told Shikamaru that the daimyo are gonna be unhappy with this, and there will be lasting consequences from this. So now we look at the newest chapter. The elders wish to speak with Shikamaru again, and judging how their last conversation went, it can't be nothing good. You see, this could go a few ways. It could be that Shikamaru gotten exposed for helping Boruto, or maybe another alert from the daimyo. Shikamaru has been very secretive about his alliance with Boruto, but I can't say he covered his tracks all too well. For one, he heavily involved other people in his secret, like Ino, who at first you wouldn't think would snitch on Shikamaru or anything because of their history, but the fact still stands that she was never comfortable helping him do this. She even stopped helping him because that basically goes against all the rules of the sensory unit. I mean, I can't blame her, it is a bad look. So yeah, despite her and Shikamaru's history and everything, it didn't matter whether or not they were friends or not. she still didn't want to help him. So could she have told anybody that Shikamaru was aiding the enemy? Or how about the way that Boruto escaped the interrogation room? As soon as Mitsuki quote-unquote attacked Boruto, he undid the cuffs and set him free, in which Konoha stated that only himself, Ibiki, and Shikamaru know the code to. So that's another indication that he could be in suspicion for assisting Boruto. Mitsuki probably tried to make it look like the cuffs malfunctioned once he made contact with Boruto, but we haven't taken consideration of whether or not there's hidden cameras or something like that in this room that could have caught on to some suspicious footage. So there is multiple ways Shikamaru could be on watch for suspicious activity. I'd be surprised if Kawaki hasn't caught on yet either, because he was on his way to Boruto's location, but yet he disappeared before he was able to sense his aura. So because of that, he concluded that Boruto disappeared before he perceived him. And the only person he talked prior to this was Shikamaru. So again, if you pay attention to the details, you can probably figure out that Shikamaru has been in contact with Boruto. So here's the real problem. If Shikamaru is exposed or somehow pushed out of his position as Hokage, then that affects Boruto and Kashinkoji heavily. Most likely he'll be thrown in jail if he's convicted of treason for helping Boruto. If he's not thrown in jail, then he'll just be impeached, which is lowballing the magnitude of the situation heavily. So if he's thrown in jail, he can't help Boruto anymore. At the current moment, Shikamaru has power just because of him being the Hokage. Even if temporary, that still comes with power itself because of the name. So Boruto has access to the head of the snake, which will allow him to move around Konoha more easily. Just think about it. Due to Shikamaru's power, he had Ino connect them telepathically, so he could relay various information on what was going on around Konoha. Like when Mitsuki attacked Boruto, he was able to tell him before it happened. No matter what happened after, he was still given this information before it happened, just to give Boruto a sense of precognition. Or what I just mentioned, he helped Boruto avoid Kawaki and Delta's attack. He even was a great help when JURA and Hidari came to Konoha. He was able to give vital information for Boruto regarding the situation and inform him that they were now after Himawari, also that the Ninetales was involved. And there's many more examples of this, but for the sake of the video not being in half an hour, we're not going to talk about everything. You pretty much get the point. You understand how important he is to Boruto. But now when we look at Kashinkoji, Shikamaru has been a great help to him as well. Speaking of which, he was the one who told Shikamaru to deploy Konoha and the rest of Team 7 to Sunagakure, which ended up saving both Shinki and Moegi. So the end result was positive. It was only possible because Shikamaru was in power to make Koji's desire a reality. So with Koji's prescience ability and Shikamaru's political power, they're both a very strong duo. A duo that's capable of making real change to the outcome of the shinobi world. And all that is threatened by the village's higher ups. So Shikamaru's position is up in the air. It all depends on whether he's in trouble or not. What do the village elders want to speak with him about? One thing's for sure, whatever it is, it cannot be good. Shikamaru's impeach could mean the very end of Konoha, or even worse, the shinobi world. He's so important to many of the future outcomes that Koji foresaw. So without him, it's gonna be 10 times harder to truly reach a favorable outcome. Let me know what you think lies in Shikamaru's future down below in the comment section. Will he lose his job? Or does he already have too much power to be touched? What do you think the village elders wish to speak about? Does it have to do with the elimination of Boruto or not? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions down below. And remember, if you enjoyed this video and don't mind seeing more like this in the near future, go ahead and tap that like button, comment, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications so you get notified whenever I upload, or go live for chapter spoilers. And until next time, I'll see you boys and girls later, and I'm out. Peace.